contestant, Mr. Taz Cannon. Little things mean a lot. Little things mean a lot. Taz Cannon.
Thank you, Madam Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, and especially guests. I'm here to tell you a couple things today that you may not know about Taz. In fact, a couple things that involve certain companies that you most certainly know about, but you may not have known that I was the one who created them. It all started when I was knee-high to a grass. And I say that because when I was little, I used to venture off away from our house to my neighbor's house, where behind which there was a huge assemblage of inchworms. Now, if any of you know about inchworms, and for those of you who don't, I'll tell you, they dangle from large, seeming like strings, if you will, a portion of web, off the siding of a house. There were hundreds of them. And gathered there to look at them was not just myself, but my peers, all the neighborhood kids. Well, I decided this was a perfect opportunity to show off. So I grabbed one of those little webs and I dangled the inchworm over my mouth and I lowered it in and I chomped it right down in front of all my peers. And they all looked at me and they went, "Ugh." That reaction elicited a reaction from me. I grabbed two more. I dangled them slowly down into my mouth and I chomped on them once again. They make no noise because they're pretty much liquid. And I swallowed them down. Now, for any of you who do know me and know exactly how finicky I am, you'd say, what's Taz doing eating an inchworm? Well, the one thing I did notice when I ate these inchworms was that they were flavorless. There was really nothing to them. But my peers didn't know this. They saw Taz eating a worm. So, believe it or not, this worm was for me inspiration for my first company, a candy company called Sweetheart. You might have heard of it. They make those little candy hearts for Valentine's Day. In fact, for those of you who haven't heard of it, I brought you a little treat. Now, one of the colors in here is inchworm flavor. So, I warn you ahead of time. The trick is, I'm not going to tell you which color that is. But I'll leave it all up to you to discover which color it might be. If only my father had known that the Sweetheart Candy Company was going to come from eating inchworms off a neighbor's house. The next thing mystified him even more. As a teenager, we used to take family ski trips up to Vermont. Now, when my mother would take me shopping for clothes for skiing, it was up to me to pick out whichever clothes I wanted to ski with. And for some reason, I picked out this set of snow pants. Now, for those of you who don't know what snow pants are, they're snow resistant, so you can fall as many times as is necessary and not get wet. Well, I picked out this pair that was covered with flowers from top to bottom. And I had very, very, very curly hair. And I was skiing down the slope with my flower snow pants. And I came to a trail intersection where I was immediately blown off my skis by another skier coming down the trail next to it and sent me right into the snow tumbling, and the skier came over very concerned and said, "Are you all right, little girl?" And I looked up at him and I said, "I'm fine." And he skied away. This got me thinking, did I perhaps pick the wrong pair of snow pants? And might I be able to start my own clothing company that could sell such items to people that are maybe inappropriate, but something they might like? Perhaps something like the unmatching sock. That's right. Now, this became inspiration for yet another company. One you might have heard of, Salvation Army. When I started mixing the socks, I started losing the other ones. So I ended up giving them away as odd pairs, but I realized this is clothing that people need. The Salvation Army. Another one of my milestones. So folks, just leave it at this. When it comes to your friends, your peers, the person sitting next to you, the person standing next to you, the person that you know intimately, or think you do, I tell you this, little things mean a lot, and you might not know anything. That contest.
2 minutes for the judges, please.